What is up, you beautiful people? As always, pleasure to be here with you on this fine evening, even though Manchester City are winning the FA Cup. But we can push past that and look ahead to the positives that we have ahead as he quickly glances down to make sure, once again, his microphone isn't on mute. I feel like we're at about 5 streams now since I've last forgot that it was on mute. So, yes, loads for us to get through this evening, my friends. We'll talk Andy Robertson and Bayern Munich's links. We'll talk links to Pep Lijnders and a potential destination for him in his managerial career. And of course, lots of bits and pieces as well. So, I will get to the 4-4-2 stuff. Don't worry. I will get to it. I'm still... See, I'll let you in a little secret, right? I didn't know the 4-4-2's video was coming, but Ben knew and Connor knew. I didn't know. Ben had obviously been sending stuff over to help them in the background graphics-wise, but I had no idea until today, genuinely. So we were on... I can't tell you what call we were on, but we were on a work call because we were talking about one of the projects we're looking at. And I got the message from Mark, just as we were in that meeting, to say, you're on 4-4-2s. And Lucas is mentioned. And I genuinely had no idea. So I said it in the middle of the meeting to Connor, Ben, and the other person that was in the meeting. And Ben just starts laughing and goes, I know, mate. I've been helping to make sure that they got the images and stuff they needed. So, yeah, that was such an amazing surprise. And, you know, I'm really happy they got the man boobs in. Because, you know, it wouldn't be me unless the man boobs were there. But look, honestly, unbelievable. Best day ever. Chuffed to bits. Yeah, honestly. Mate, I've only had a chance to watch it once because I've been in meetings all day. But I'm blown away. I'm so happy. That's life. Ambition box tick, definitely. Thank you to the guys of 4-4-2s as well. Incredible. Really, really humbled, blown away, and delighted to be on there. Right. So let's talk football. And JC Galvanil, quick thank you to you, sir. I was skimming through some of the comments before we started and seeing that you had gifted 15 memberships, bro. Thank you, as always, JC. Can't wait to catch up with you in Boston next month. Looking forward to it. Has Lucas seen the video? Yeah, he did. He has. I won't tell you what he said because he wasn't happy about somebody else being in the video. Let's just say that. But no, Lucas was blown away. Obviously chuffed about it as well. Yeah, just one of those cool days I'm going to remember for a long time. So there we go. Well earned, said Liz. Thank you. Honestly, I'm so petty that these are the things in this whole industry that make me chuffed. Small little bits like that. Yeah, thank you to the guys of 4-4-2s and to everyone that's watched and commented underneath as well. Thank you. Right, let's talk prediction. So, madly, the prediction video and the preview that we put out earlier on today has started to do much better numbers than previous previews. And it kind of got me wondering, like, it's only a couple of hours, it's had about 13,000 views, which for us is ahead of schedule. But it got me thinking why, and then I thought, obviously everybody's probably in the same boat as me. No clue what to expect tomorrow, no idea what a Liverpool 11 against Southampton might look like, so we'll try and figure that out between us as well as the evening goes on. I was so excited when I saw the 4-4-2s. I came over here right now just to make sure we all saw it. AA keeps blowing up. Thank you, Wes. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you. It's a lovely day, as I said. Definitely one of my bucket list things ticked off. So thank you again to the guys of 4-4-2s. Please do go across and leave a comment letting them know you're coming across from our community and just giving them a like, a well-deserved like for the great work like we've said previously. I think your team was too young, but we'll have to hope for a win regardless. I get you, Lee. I understand exactly where you're coming from, mate. It is a very inexperienced team that I put together in my predicted 11. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, you're here now, so I don't mind talking you through it. But my predicted 11 was Kelleher in goal, Bradley at right back, Costas at left back. I have to do this head nod thing, by the way, because I'm visualising it in my head. Kwanzaa and Gomez and the centre-back positions. McConnell and Clark in midfield. But I got stuck because I had to have a third midfielder, obviously, and everybody else is exhausted, so I had to force in McAllister, who I think played 87 minutes against Chelsea. So McAllister, McConnell and Clark in midfield. And then up top, I had to stick with the youthful side of it because I don't believe he starts Mohamed Salah, Darwin, I believe they're on the bench, perhaps maybe brought on if needs be. So I went up top. Again, I'll run through it real quick without any stopping. Kelleher in goal, Bradley at right back, Costas at left back, Kwanzaa and Gomez centre backs, Bobby Clark, James McConnell and Alexis McAllister in midfield. I put Cade Gordon, right side of attack, Dans through the centre, and on the left side I went with Lewis Kumas. So that is the guess at my 11. And I went with a 2-1 prediction. But honestly, as I mentioned in the video, hardest prediction I've ever had to do, because it's like, who's available? Who's left? Who's fit? Who's recovered? Even the likes of Dans and those other players. Like, we played Sunday, now we're back on Wednesday. It is just going to be a matter of who's fit and available. Blackburn playing really well against Newcastle at the moment at David Newell. City 2-0 up, by the way, against Luton, if you haven't seen that. 2 goals from Erling Haaland. Robbo ain't for sale. Don't you worry, my friend. We'll get to the Andy Robertson talk in a moment. Actually, you know what? We won't even wait a moment. We'll get straight into it. So this got posted earlier on from the Mail to say Andy Robertson has emerged as a potential candidate to replace Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich and is understood to be top of the list. So obviously when you see this in the Mail, you start researching further, and yes, there is apparently interest in Andy Robertson. I've had that confirmed on my side as well. Now, we all know he's not for sale, so I think it's going to be a bit of a moot point, but they are interested, and even though Andy Robertson's 30 years of age, they certainly are interested in him. He's got just over 2 years to go in his Liverpool contract, so the club certainly aren't in any need or rush, or, well, need is the word really, to sell him, so I don't expect it to be an issue. But I've said to you before as well, Alphonso Davies will be going to Real Madrid. I've been telling you that for months now. Mainstream media are just catching up with it, but there you go. And look, it's not our problem. It's their problem. We don't have to replace a left back. We have a very good, capable left back, thank you. And Bayern Munich's problems are just that, Bayern Munich's problems. So I wouldn't worry about it. Robbo's happy where he is, you know that. Loves the club. The fans love him. You know, I don't expect Robertson to be up for sale for any number, so I wouldn't worry about it. But it does go to show you, if you're looking at the likes of Alonso as a preference of where he might want to go to, less work to do at Liverpool, higher payoff, higher caliber squad, I would say, overall as well. So yeah, just another reason why you can probably expect Mr. Xabi Alonso to come in through. Did you see in the 442 video, actually, they had John W. Henry and Xabi Alonso together? Eddie Cox Wilkins, thank you, mate, for gifting an Anfield Agenda membership. Really kind of you, Eddie. Grealish back injured for Man City. Is he already? My God. 100 million. There you go. 100 million of your human pounds there for Jackie Grealish. So, Dave O'Cott posted something earlier on that, I guess we have to discuss. So, the ultra-reliable at Telegraph, who are a Dutch outlet, has said that Pep Lijnders is in talks to take over at Ajax as manager next season. I think that's a masterstroke from Ajax. I could see Pep Lijnders working wonders at Ajax. I think they would love his brand of football. And I think that he'd obviously revitalise and put energy back into the club. And I think it's the right level for him to rebuild. Because he did have a little spell, if I'm not mistaken, in managerial terms, Holland before, but at a club that was in a lot more problems. So yeah, I think that would be a brilliant hookup, and I think a great progression for Pep Lijnders' career. Yeah, I think it's a good fit. Interested to see. Yeah, I think he'd do really well there. Craig, I saw that Neoni is set to make his debut tomorrow. Don't know whether he's set to start though. Unsure, Harry. Unsure. I'm sure he'll be in the squad. I've no doubts about that. I mean, he's been in the matchday squads for the last few anyway. But we've yet to really see him break through and get that chance. So maybe tomorrow is that opportunity. So the way I guess Jurgen's going to look at tomorrow's game is youth to start with, and hopefully maybe a few players like Salah or that coming back on the bench in case of emergency, but hopefully we don't have to use them. That's how I look at tomorrow's game. Dan's the score. I agree. I agree. I'm going to stick a tenner myself on Dan's to score tomorrow. I feel it. 3-0 now. Haaland with a hat-trick. See, I said to you guys the other day, I find Haaland to be a bit of a flat-track bully, in that he scores bunches of goals against the lesser teams, but doesn't then really show up for the big occasions. So, not surprised that he scored a hat-trick there tonight if he has just got his third. People are saying maybe it's off or not, but either way, again, just shows that at a level, Haaland can get at defences, but I think when the levels go up a bit, he finds it a lot harder to be as prolific. T, member for 3 months, thank you. Who do you think becomes new Ireland manager? Honestly, I've got no idea. I don't know. Yeah, I've been trying to think about that over the last few days, and it's not a very attractive job at the moment, is it? City are so boring. Yes, they are. Actually, hang on, I need to shout upstairs. Bear with me. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Yeah, City are boring. I find them very robotic to watch, in all honesty. So, look, Andy Robertson. Let me just start a poll on this. Right, poll up. Do you think there is any chance Robbo leaves? And I will leave that with your good selves to vote on throughout the stream. Barry Taylor gifted 50. Wow, Barry, 50. Are you Brian in disguise? 50 gifted memberships. Incredible, mate. Wow. Thank you, Barry. That's really, really kind of you, mate. And they're going to make 50 people very, very happy as well, Barry. Well in. Only for Celtic. Well, you never know. I could see Robbo going back to Celtic at the latter part of his career. What player got you into footy? Mine was Klein and Alonso. I'm trying to think back to the time where I was watching. I mean, one of my first memories of watching football was Euro 88 when I was on holidays in Santa Ponsa with my family. I think I was, 6.5 at the time. And Marco van Basten is probably one of the first players I remember. Brian Laudrup, probably another one. But yeah, I'd have to say probably Van Basten and Papin from Marseille as well back in the day, Jean-Pierre Papin. Probably, but I'd say honestly it's Van Basten is probably the answer. Update on Darwin. Touch and go for tomorrow, Davey. Darwin, Salah, Soboslai, Klopp said touch and go, meaning close, very close. Could go either way. But I guess the real question we need to ask about tomorrow is it worth risking the guys if there is any potential of a setback? And for me, I'd say the answer is no. It would suck if we got knocked out at Anfield against Southampton. But I guess at some point we have to weigh up the bigger picture. And if the guys can get it done with the younger players out there, and, you know, I don't know how strong Southampton are going to go. For me, the priorities, again, have got to be the league and the Europa League. And we've already got a domestic cup. Look, nobody wants to get knocked out, but I'd hate to see us have a setback from one of the guys if they were brought back in a little bit too quickly. Craig, how are you and the family? Hope all good, said Isa. Very good, thank you, yes. Can't complain, family are well. Anthony Robinson, if Robbo leaves. I was looking at some stats, actually, last night. I think I seen this pop up on Sky, actually. Anthony Robinson is the most interceptions in the Premier League. And he is somebody that, you know, we've looked at. We've seen him mentioned. He's still, what is he, 27? So he's not exactly a young player. And look, I wouldn't be looking to sell Andy Robertson at all. I would sell Costas. I've said this many times, but if you wanted to sell Costas and bring in Anthony Robinson, I'd take that. 3-1. Luton Town have pulled one back. There you go. 3-1 in the FA Cup. Frimpong if Robbo leaves. Wrong side of the pitch, Coach Bill. You'd be looking at Grimaldo, probably, if you wanted that side. But he's, I think, 28, 29, Grimaldo? So, look, I think Costas could play Alonso's current system easily. As could Robertson, as could Bradley. Not really sure too much about Calvin Ramsey yet, because, quite frankly, we haven't got to see Calvin Ramsey. The Nottingham Forest game is a banana skin. Yeah. Like they're going to be fighting for their lives, Lee, as you've probably, intimated in your comment. They have a potential points deduction maybe coming their way, which would probably throw them into the relegation zone. So yeah, I'm certainly focused on Saturday ahead of tomorrow more so. But every game's a banana skin at this point, isn't it? You've got to make sure we get over the line and get the wins. Is that another 50, Barry, or am I... Hang on, I have to scroll back up here, Barry. Hang on. I'm just trying to... Is this... What time was that at? Either way, I don't know if Barry's gifted another 50. I think he has. I'm strolling back up. Either way, Barry, my man. Unbelievable. Incredible. Amazing. W's all around us. The chat saying, Barry... I don't know what's happening lately that we've got the likes of Barry, we've got the likes of Brian, and we've got the likes of these other, like JC as well. Incredibly generous people who've shared the love with, obviously, ourselves and the community. Thank you, mate. That's amazing, Barry. Barry, what part of the world are you in, bro? Will I ever get the chance to buy you a thank you point or buy you a thank you meal, Barry? But that's incredible, mate. Well in. I'm hoping you're going to say I'm in Boston, Craig, and I'll see you next month, but I don't know wherever you are, Barry. Thank you. People love you, Craig, said Sergu. But I don't get it. Mate, I'm me. I don't know, man. Even in one of our calls today, somebody was saying, like, you guys are a big channel. And I was like, yeah, but we're little us. I don't get it. But I'm grateful that people enjoy what we do, but I enjoy it as much, so it feels guilty. It feels like... Yeah, I enjoy it. I love it. I can't wait to be on here every night. What's this bull crap about Robbo leaving? It's like Craig says, and I wanted 12. There just isn't the world where that'll happen. It's just that he's been linked in the... which paper was it? The Mail? Was it the Mail? Let me get my notes open again. The Mail, yes. The Mail have said, Andy Robertson has emerged as a potential candidate to replace Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich, and is understood to be top of the list. And that comes from Simon Jones, who's, a decent journalist. I feel like I've given something back to you, Craig. Today, 150 memberships. That's amazing. Barry, incredible. Thank you. You got me through the hardest 3-4 months of my life last summer. Keep up the good work, mate. I'm in Oxford. Oh, awesome. So definitely, Barry, if we come over towards... London neck of the woods, is it? I don't know exactly where Oxford is. Hopefully we get to say hello, mate, and have a chat in person. It'd be a pleasure if I'm ever in that part of the world, mate. Please just reach out. Wes Roberts, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. Right, what else have we got? Again, Barry, I can't thank you enough, mate. You've blown me away with your kindness there. I think I would like Robbo sold and Grimaldo comes in when Xabi takes charge. He plays a crucial part of the team for Alonso. He's very good. But so is Robbo. I mean, look, I love Grimaldo. Was it Alex? Sorry, Harris. I love Grimaldo, mate. I've been saying for weeks I love watching him play at Bayer Leverkusen. But I think I'd rather move Costas on. Which sounds really harsh, and I don't want to make it sound like I don't like Costas. I do. He seems like a really sound lad that loves being at Liverpool Football Club. But I don't know if he's ever going to be able to take over from Robbo. I don't feel comfortable in saying yes to that. Not that it's my choice, but... So, I don't know. Robbo can play the system. I would say Costas could play Alonso's system as well, to be honest. And you don't want to replicate Leverkusen at Liverpool. You want Alonso to come in and tweak his system to work with the players we have. And then if he feels there's some deficiencies in the squad, address them. I love the way I'm talking about Alonso like it's a done deal and he's coming. So get rid of Costas and bring in Grimaldo. I mean, if you offered me that right now on a trade, I'd take it. To be honest with you, I would. Especially when you look at, we've got a few academy products at left back who are out on loan and developing. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't take it. Barry putting Oxford on the map. Love that, Conor Mullen. Well in. Right, something from earlier on today. So just some updates for people who are coming in and may not have seen Klopp's press conference earlier on. He said Darwin Núñez, Mohamed Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai, touch and go. He said he's not sure if Thiago will play again this season. It seems as though Thiago's had a serious setback. Bajcetic is now pain-free. He said the bone looks good. So he works his way back to fitness. We should be seeing Bajcetic hopefully relatively soon. I don't want to put a time frame on that. Gravenberch is out for the next couple of games at least. Which, let's be honest, when you see him going off on a stretcher, I'd have bitten your hand off for 2 games at that point. So even if it kicks on a little bit longer and you're talking 3-4 games, honestly, it's still better than I expected after I seen him going off on the stretcher. So I take that as good news. Endo, no improvement since the knock. But again, I wasn't expecting Endo to really be involved tomorrow. As long as we can have him back for Saturday, I think we'd be good to go. That's pretty much it on the update regards to the Players Club spoke about today. Jones still a bit away. Obviously, we know about Matip as well. And Alisson, other side of the international break. Thiago's wages can't disappear fast enough. What a waste. It's one of those situations, Wes, isn't it, where, excuse me, we know what Thiago's capable of. The man is an outstanding footballer. And we know Thiago doesn't want to be injured. No footballer doesn't want to be playing and doesn't want to be sitting in the rehab room. But it's also been a real letdown of a last year of his Liverpool contract. So it does feel like, respectfully, the right time to depart from himself and Joel Matip. But yeah, tough one. I guess that's why when we were buying him, we knew 25 million or so, there was somewhat of a risk in it, but I don't say we got our money's worth, but from the transfer fee alone, I think it was reasonable. But getting 200 grand a week off the wage book, it's going to make a big difference. I don't know what Joel Matip's on off the top of my head, but he's quite a senior player, so I would imagine you're probably hovering somewhere around the 80, 100 grand a week mark there. So that's a lot of money that is going to be available to either put into new contracts for the likes of Trent, Mo, and Verge, or to amortise across a new signing. So, yeah, good bit of money being freed up. Alonso more certain than Bellingham. To be fair, I'll never understand how Liverpool gave up on the Bellingham thing, other than the finances. But the Alonso part, look, I don't have any information on the Alonso thing that you don't have. The Bellingham stuff, I had my connections on it. But this one, I'm like you. I'm just looking in the media, reading, see what I can find out. And it does look as if, well, let me say this. I feel like the odds of him going to Bayern are slim to none at this point. So it will be, does he stay at Leverkusen or does he make the move to Liverpool? And for us, we should be hoping he wins the Bundesliga, because I think, in line with what Jamie Carragher was saying, probably makes it more likely he comes to us if he wins the Bundesliga, and hopefully he wins a double and comes runner-up in the Europa League, because he can't be winning that now. Can't be doing that in Klopp's last year. Also, we did ask you guys earlier on, do you think there is any chance Robbo leaves? And 80% of you have said no, 20% of you said yes. I am definitely in the 80% of the no. I feel like Joel is still capable of playing at the top level, both mentally and physically, and I think Thiago is too, but mentally, physically, I don't know if he's up to it now. So, for me, aspect 008, you look at it this way with Matip, right? He's had a contract in the summer. We don't know how he comes back from the ACL. Let's use Verge as an example. Both two very fit men. And we know that Verge said it took him another season to really trust his body and get back. That would make Matip, 33 then, heading for 34? It feels like a risk that's not worth taking over a contract. You know, if he was under contract with the club, of course, you know, but he's not. We have an exit point, and the fact that Klopp isn't going to be the manager makes me even more confident that we'll say our goodbyes at that point. It sounds really harsh and all, I know, but it's not a charity. It is a business and a football club, and it's really unfortunate what's happened to Joel, and we all love Joel. But can you commit another contract? I don't think so. Not when you don't have to. You should get a P.O. box. I want to send you some... I don't know what country that is, mate. Sorry, I can't see the maps that small. Is it Mexican? Candy and chips. Would love to see you review it. Well, I'd love to review it as well, mate. And, you know, I've teased the idea of a Craig Reviews channel, which I'm hoping to start in the summer, maybe. But yeah, we can sort out a P.O. box, Alex. No problem. My wife's already been down to the local post office to see what the requirements are to set one up. So yeah, it's something we've thought about before, mate, and we can absolutely sort. But Alex, if you want to send that like that from Mexico, mate, email me. I'll give you my address, bro. I'm not expecting you to send that in dramatic, you know what I mean? So yeah, just reach out, contact at AnfieldAgenda.com, mate, and I'll give you my address, no problem. Craig, why do you think no club tried to get Laudrup after he left Swansea? Don't know. Love the Laudrup brothers, by the way. What's the injury update? So, like we said earlier on, Klopp said on Bajcetic, I had lunch and I saw him training. I thought, why is he not playing? He's gaining fitness now, running around, but he didn't get the green light yet. Must be from the medical department. He's pain-free, which is the most important thing. Bone looks good. With regards to other players, Klopp said Nunes, Salah and Szoboszlai are touch and go for tomorrow, but that would mean they're pretty much nailed on for the weekend. Not sure if Thiago will play again this season. Gravenberch out for the next 2 games at least, and as I said earlier on, that feels like a win after the tackle and seeing him going off on a stretcher. I would have taken 2 games. Even if it goes into 3 or 4 games, it's still okay. Honestly, I was thinking we were looking at a Jota situation. Maybe 2 months, 10 weeks. Endo, he said no improvement since the knock, but we've seen Endo doing some bits on the training pitch. So I never expected Endo to be involved tomorrow because he played the full 120 minutes. I wouldn't expect Verge to be involved either. So, yeah, I did do my predicted 11 earlier on, which I can run through real quickly for you. Kelleher, Bradley, Costas, Gomez, Kwanzaa, Bobby Clark, James McConnell, Alexis McAllister, Cade Gordon, Dans, and Lewis Kumas. That's my guess at an 11. And it is, of course, a guess, because who the hell knows at this point. Yansk said, I cannot see Robbo leaving unless Klopp joins him. I can't see Robbo leaving. I think Robbo... Okay. I might be arrogant, right? But... I think Robbo loves the club. And I think there's a Scottish-Liverpool connection that goes back a long way, obviously. And I don't know, I just feel like Robbo wants to be here. But I don't know the man. And I don't know his thought process or what his family wants. But I can't see him going anywhere, honestly. He's got 2 and a bit years to go on his Liverpool contract. So we're certainly not in a position where we'd have to sell him. Pranav said, pretty sure Gakpo starts tomorrow. He might do, mate. Yeah, he may well do. In which case, what? If I was to put Gakpo into the team, I'd probably swap Kumas and put Gakpo on the left wing, Dan's through the middle and keep Kay Gordon on the right. But he may well do Pranav. And look, if he does, bro, I'm not going to complain about it. Yeah, it was a difficult team to guess at, honestly. Congrats, Craig, almost at 245k subs. Thank you. And if you guys haven't subscribed, please do. We're only 7 off 244,494. We're only 6 off now. Craig, you're now a character in 414s. I know, we were talking about it earlier on. I didn't know, but Connor and Ben knew. They kept it from me, which is kind of cool of them. But yeah, it was amazing. I'm genuinely blown away and chuffed by it all. I want to see Dan start, maybe Cody at left wing. Yeah, exactly. I'd have no issues with that. I'm all for Dan starting as well, by the way. I'm ready. Did you guys see, actually, Jurgen Klopp has the highest win percentage of any Liverpool manager in history. Again, it was a really good piece in The Athletic. I can't remember who wrote the piece, but it's basically about how Jurgen Klopp's time at Liverpool shouldn't just be summarised as a win by trophies, but by, you know, what he's achieved since he's come here overall. Brilliant article, and it does list through all the Liverpool managers' win percentages and stuff. And Jurgen, with I think just over 60%, is top of the pops. I'm getting to go to Liverpool Man City in March. Do you reckon Núñez, Jota, Salah will be back and Szoboszlai? No to Jota. Ben, he won't be back. But Núñez, Salah, Szoboszlai, yes. I would very much say you can expect to see those gents. And enjoy the game, mate. What a game for you to go to, Ben. Well in. Do you reckon Endo's been our best midfielder this season? No. No. I'd probably... Because remember, we can't just have recency bias. We have to think the whole season. I'm going to say Jones. But I think there's a case for McAllister, but not for the reason a lot of people probably expect. I think Jones is probably the answer, but I think McAllister's versatility and what he did at the start of the season to help out in a position he's not necessarily accustomed to, I think that has been a huge help to us as well. And but I think Jones is probably the answer. I was 3 years below Dan's in school, and his cousin was best mates with my sister. I hope he has a fantastic career at Liverpool. He's a proper Liverpool fan. I seen the post his father put up, I think it was Instagram, after he made his debut, and it was a truly beautiful thing, you know, speaking about how proud he was of his son. And yeah, it's these stories are amazing. I mean, look, I'll go through this graphic again that we talked about yesterday, but just that image of the players and how young they were when they came to Liverpool, the youngsters that were part of that League Cup win. There it is. So we had Jarell Quansah, who joined Liverpool aged just 8. Stefan Bajcetic obviously came in from Celta Vigo aged 16. Jayden Danns joined aged 8. Conor Bradley came across from Dungannon Swifts aged 16. Obviously Harvey Elliott came in from Fulham aged 16. James McConnell aged 15 came in from Sunderland. Bobby Clark came in at 16 from Newcastle. Ben Doak 16 from Celtic. Lewis Koumas joined aged 11 from Tranmere. And Trey Neone came in at age 16 from Leicester. So I'd say combined, those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Certainly feel comfortable saying less than 10 million, maybe less than 12 million combined for that talent. And as Pep Lijnders, I think, or Klopp said, there's probably a 300 million quid academy there at the minute with those players coming through. And how much could the likes of a Quansah, a Danns save the club moving forward? Like, look at Stefan Bajcetic, €300,000 from Celta Vigo. What the hell does €300,000 get you for a footballer these days? It's mental. Crazy. Like, some of that business is just remarkable. Do you think we beat Manchester City at Anfield? Said that guy. It's a good question, mate. And look, I don't want to come across as arrogant, but I don't think we lose. And that I feel comfortable to say. I think we get a draw minimum. If you look back at City's record in the Premier League at Anfield since Guardiola's come in, I think he's won once, and that was the COVID season where we'd no fans. So the fans are going to play a big part in that game. And I honestly think it's going to be an atmosphere the likes of which maybe we see once every few years. I mean, the atmosphere at Anfield on big occasions is unbelievable, but I'm talking Chelsea semi-final 2005 second leg kind of atmosphere where the stadium's nearly shaking to its foundations. I don't expect those City players to even be able to hear each other out there on the pitch. It's going to be hostile in the right way. I can't wait. Can't wait, honestly. It's going to be epic. And my God, those referees better not ruin the game. The PGMOL and the Premier League had better get their shit together when they're making the appointments for that Man City game. Because no Tierneys, no Taylors, nobody from Manchester. Just get good officials in there who will referee the game on its merits with no biases. Because you're talking about the product being in jeopardy at this point. And it is. I was listening to Back Pages on Sky Sports again last night. I had Miguel Delaney on there. And they were talking about the impact that these charges against Everton and Nottingham Forest and Manchester City, of course, in a bigger perspective, is having on the branding of the Premier League and the product worldwide. And it is starting to look a little bit tin pot to some people that this still hasn't been resolved properly, and these charges for City are lingering over, and Everton's charges have been 10 points and 6 points, and then there could be another deduction. You can never get arrogant when you're at the top. And the Premier League is the most watched league in the world. It's the league with the biggest money in the world. But you can't get comfortable and arrogant because of that. You still need to continue to be acting like you're the small fish. You still need to continue to be hungry. And I feel like the Premier League at times has got a bit complacent. And also I think football has got complacent. I mean, they seem to think they can just make decisions based on the whims of them and a few number crunchers and not actually reach out to real world fans and talk about these things. Like they're talking about the blue card thing as an example recently. That is a farce. A farce. Everyone laughed at it immediately because it's a joke. But they need to sort out the basic things like the handballs and stuff like that before we move on. So, actually, I want to ask you another question in a poll, if I can, and it's about the Everton points deduction. 1 second. Right. Do you think 6 points is fair for the Everton situation? Is the question. So let me know in the chat. Do you think that 6 point deduction is now fair for Everton? Listening to Cara speak about it, I agree with him. I think if 6 points was the deduction in the first place, I think football world goes, yeah, okay, 6 points sounds about fair. 10 points seemed very, very harsh. If you consider 9 points is the number if you go into administration, 6 points to me feels far more balanced than the 10 point original deduction. But again, I'd love to know what you guys think about it. Still can't believe Caicedo didn't get booked. I'll never understand it, Desi. Never, mate. How do you have 7 fouls in a game, one of them sending a lad off the pitch on a stretcher, and leave without a booking? Whereas McAllister, 1 foul, yellow card. I mean, make it make sense, bro. It's the part that gets me every week is seeing the mental gymnastics performed by Darren McGallagher on Ref Watch to try and justify what we all know is codology, spoofery, nonsense. The referees feel like they're interpreting the laws to suit their agenda in a particular moment rather than being consistent across the laws of the game. My biggest thing, though, honestly, of it all is, and this is becoming more abundantly clear with VAR, Referees ref the game in two different ways. I don't know if you feel the same about this as me, but I'm very stern in my beliefs. Referees have one set of rules for a defending team and another set of rules for an attacking team. Referees have one set of rules for something happening in an 18-yard box and one set of rules for something happening every other part of the pitch. Nobody will convince me otherwise. How many times do you see a situation, as an example, where a forward is closing in on a defender who's trying to clear their lines and they touch them very briefly in the back, the defender falls down forward, referee gives the free out. Now ask yourself, would that happen in the penalty area? Would you get a penalty for the same incident? Of course you wouldn't. You'd be told not enough contact. It's the eyes of the world being on this relentless search for perfection from referees and VAR has only, in my opinion, highlighted the hypocrisies of the game. As an example, why does every centimetre count when it's a free kick around the edge of the box? But if it's near the halfway line, 5 yards either way doesn't matter. Throw in, doesn't matter. Rob 10 or 15 yards going up the line, no problem. Corner, don't let that ball be a centimetre overhanging the edge. They're hypocrites in how they referee the game. They have different rules for different parts of the pitch. A handball now, for an attacker, is very different from a defender. It's crazy. Man City knew what they were doing, breaching so many rules, said Alex. They did so much so that it'd be harder to prosecute. I hate that we live in a world where that's possible. We need to get rid of corruption. Exactly, Alex. And for me, mate, on top of what you've said, the longer it draws out, the longer they drag it on, the more tired people get of the fight, the more desensitized they get to the potential charges, and the more that Man City become looking like an established team, and we all think, well, they are a big team now, they are generating this money now. But like you've said, mate, you cannot ignore how they got there. You know, they tilted the deck in all of our opinions. So I love your comment, mate. Well in. Oh, it's 3-2 now in the FA Cup game. Ooh, hello Luton. 3-2. Well in. So do you guys feel that way about the refereeing, by the way? And then Liz said rules for the second half versus the first half. Like, how many times have you heard the referee say doesn't want to give an early yellow card, or somebody say ref doesn't want to give an early yellow card in the game? Why? It is what it is. If it's worthy of a yellow card in minute 1, it's worthy of a yellow card in minute 90. And you know the totting up process that they talk about? That only exists in their fucking head. Where was the totting up process for Caicedo? 7 fouls. No card. These are just things they invent in their own minds to justify their actions. They're not based in the rules of the game. And if they are, they're not applying them correctly. They're applying them at their own discretion. If you're found guilty of breaking the rules, relegation is the answer. It'll stop it straight away. Well, Martin, we now kind of somewhat have a reference point. So 6 points now seems to be one charge. Everton, one charge, overspending by 20 million, 6 point deduction. Manchester City, 115 charges. Let's say 40 of them are proven. Oh, no, let's say 40 of them are held up on appeal because they've already been proven. Let's say 40 of them are held up on appeal. Okay, so what's that then? 240 points deduction? We know that's not going to happen. So what is going to happen? Well, I don't know the answer to that. But what I can tell you is they don't have to be accepted into the EFL if they're relegated from the Premier League. It is completely at the discretion of the English Football League if they want to accept a club that is being expelled from the Premier League. If you're promoted and relegated, yes, in that system you have to make sure you go up and down. If you're relegated from end of season, you go down, you go back up. But if they were expelled, to the greatest of my understanding, it doesn't have to be an automatic entry. In theory, they could be thrown down to Conference League North. For me, this is going to sound really harsh, right? And I don't mean it to. In some extent it does. They have to be fined into oblivion. They have to. English football needs to leave an unequivocal red line under what happens if you are proven to have cheated to that extent. And it has to be a massive deterrent, and it has to send a massive signal. Because remember, Everton played ball. Everton opened up the books. Everton helped with the inquiry. Manchester City, seemingly, at every opportunity have put up a roadblock, have made it difficult, have made it hard for investigators to have access to things, and have dug their heels in and maintained and professed their innocence all the way through, whilst in my opinion sticking two fingers up at the rest of the league. So you don't get the goodwill that would go along with what other clubs might get. Everybody has time for people who put their hands up, admit their mistakes and say sorry. But the time for doing that is gone for Manchester City now. They've made their bed, their arrogance and their money, and I don't care what anybody else says. Nobody will make me feel like there isn't geopolitical issues at play as well. Premier League have a decision to make here. How is this going to look to the rest of the world? Do you have the stomach for it? Let's wait and see. 4-2 now to City. So they got back that goal quickly. 4 goals from Haaland. Flat track bully. Can he not see the chat? No, he can't, UK Bants. No, he can't see any of it. Or maybe he's in the middle of talking about something and doesn't want to read out every sentence because it kind of ruins the flow of what he's trying to say. He has a name though, and he wants you to know his name is Craig. I believe Pep Guardiola will leave Manchester City if he's proven guilty. Don't know. He's got 1 year to run in his contract, to the best of my understanding. I mean, there's these things coming out to say, oh well, he's maybe going to stay to prove a point if they get relegated. Fuck off! Not a hope. Okay, UK Bants, all good, mate. I don't get to read every comment, bro. I'll try my best, but I think I missed the super chat, by the way. Sorry. The Saga Begins said, Doak must be so frustrated that he wasn't part of the final with the kids playing. Yeah, I get that. It would have been perfect for him, wouldn't it? You know, and that's been another one this season. We've talked about by Cecic. I think you certainly have to put Doak in that category as well of we didn't quite see the kick on from last season that we'd hoped for from both of them from injury perspective. So, yeah, I'm sure he was there supporting the guys and in the pictures and all, but you're right in your point. He would have, I'm sure, loved to have been on the pitch. 5-2 now to City. 5 Haaland goals. Woo! I'm not watching Sky Sports for the rest of the night anyway, listening to the Haaland fluffing that'll be going on. Look, fair play. 5 is 5. You don't argue about 5 goals. Imagine if Guardiola gets arrested. I mean, I don't know. I don't expect that to happen, in all honesty, but I don't believe anybody's completely without some guilt in this from a Manchester City side. There's no way I don't believe Pep Guardiola thinks that everything's perfect and that all the stuff that's been leaked doesn't point or paint a picture of a very suspect situation. It's like Pep Guardiola goes, they keep telling me, they've told me, they've assured me that everything's great. Yeah, Pep, because nobody's ever told lies, mate, especially in the business world or in the geopolitical world. Everyone's always on the level. Craig really deserved the recognition in that video. He's raised my enjoyment level of football. Thank you, Ben. And look, again, thank you to the guys at 4-4 Tunes for making my year, in all honesty. I mean, it's incredible. If nothing else ever happens now, I'll always be able to go 4-4 Tunes. My son's name was mentioned in 4-4 Tunes, which makes me a very proud daddy. And again, I want to say thank you to the team of 442s for including me in your video. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we see me continue. But yeah, look, do go over. Please comment on the video. Please support the lads. I've been a fan of theirs for years. Never thought we'd end up on there. But hey, maybe we're getting to the big time. I don't know. But yeah, please do go over and show some love to the lads of 442s because incredible content, as we know. News on Robbo. So, no problem. Let me just get my notes again for you so I can give you the correct information. So this came in from Simon Jones of the Mail. And Simon Jones said, Andy Robertson has emerged as a potential candidate to replace Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich and is understood to be top of their list. So I guess the question around Alphonso Davies is, will he leave this summer for a fee or will he run down and leave for free the year after? I think Bayern have to get some money for him. They'd be silly to let him run it down and go on a free. So they're going to need a left back. But I'm pretty confident in saying I don't believe that left back's going to be Andy Robertson for a host of reasons. I don't think Rob would want to go. Why would he? You know, he's idolised at the club. I'm sure he's very settled. He's getting game time. He's got 2 and a bit years to run in his contract. So, yeah. Do you know what would be interesting though? What do you think their offer would be? In the chat, give me a number that you think Bayern Munich's offer might be if they wanted to go after Andy Robertson. No idea what his value is. Honestly, I don't. At 30 years of age, not sure. Whatever the number is, the answer will be no. You're not getting them, but just interested to see your thoughts. Lewis said 50 million, Giovanni 30, Anthony Malata 50 million, 65 for Adam Mustafa, Adam Newell, or excuse me, David Newell, my apologies David, I was reading the name above, 35 million, 60 million for Sting, Adel 50 million, I don't know how to read that name out, it was a whole jumble of letters and numbers, 60 million, 70 million for Jason Green, the Faceman Network 35-40, T 60 million, Asif 50 mil. Wow, I've got to say that's a little bit higher than I would have anticipated. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm saying it seems as if I have undervalued in my own mind what I thought the number was going to be. I thought you were going to say 40, but a lot of 50s and upwards there. I love the no sale comment, Mary, by the way, because I'm definitely on team no sale. What was Lucas's quote about being on 442s? I can't tell you, Liz, because I don't want to say anything negative about it. There's nothing negative about the cartoon or Lucas in it, but he wasn't happy with his name being alongside a certain other person in there. Let's just say that. Did you see you and your son are on 442s? Yes. The lads knew, but I didn't find out till today. Xavier. What a lovely surprise it was, honestly. I was in the middle of a meeting with a potential project that we're looking at being involved in, and I got a message pop up from Mark on WhatsApp in the middle of the meeting, just said, you're on 442s. And Lucas is mentioned. And I'm sitting here going, trying to keep professional and, you know, do the meeting, and we're on a video call. And then I was like, lads? And then I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, Ben, Connor, we're on 442s. And Ben said, yeah, I know. I helped them with the images or some of the stuff they needed to make the cartoons. And I was like, oh, thank you. So that was amazing. Yeah, awesome. Anthony Robinson will be Robbo's replacement. So we talked about this, Jared, earlier on. I'd like him to be Costas's rather than Robbo's. And the stat I seen on Sky Sports last night, he's got the most interceptions in the Premier League this year, Anthony Robinson. Now, you always want to take these stats with a pinch of salt because, you know, it's like a goalkeeper with the most saves. Well, that just means that the defence is shit and they're conceding a lot of shots. But if you're top of any set of stats, I guess you probably got something about you. And I've certainly admired Anthony Robinson when we've played against Fulham. He's tremendous energy to get up and down that left flank. So, yeah, I like him, but not to replace Robbo. Craig, you look good in 442s. Well, they got the man boobs in, which was, I I mean, I guess realistic, right? Who's going to get relegated? I don't know, because I don't know what's going to happen with the Nottingham Forest situation with the points deduction. I feel like Everton are safe now with that. With getting 4 points back, I feel like they'll do enough. And look, I'm happy for Everton. If Everton are going to get relegated out of the Premier League, I don't want it to be because of a points deduction for some financial stuff. I'd rather it be because they, their points tally at the course of the season got them done. Not this way. So it feels good that Everton are going to be able to stay afloat. I've got to be honest, I know I'm a shithouse and all, but I wouldn't wish that on them, to get relegated that way. Although others might say they should have been relegated the year Leicester stayed up and Leicester suffered for it. And I get that argument as well. So I'm going to say Burnley are gone. Sheffield United are gone. If Forest got a points deduction, I'm saying Forest. They go down with them. Brentford also have to be careful at this point. The last team will be Luton or Forest, would be my guess. The third team will be Luton or Forest to go down. Are they not meant to be getting more? Potentially. But there's also some uncertainty about the double jeopardy aspect of the potential second points deduction for Everton is an overlapping time frame from a period they've already been punished from. I don't understand the ins and outs of it fully, so certainly look for more information on it. But yeah, I don't know. How is Company still in a job? I guess because they looked at the longer picture, right? Company got them back up to the Premier League, playing good football in the Championship. And look, it hasn't worked and translated into the Premier League. I think they probably knew this was a risk to go straight back down. And I think they'll probably see if we can push towards bringing them back up again quickly if they go down. But I actually like that they've kept Vincent Kompany, because it's realistic, in my opinion, for what Burnley have spent, that they're in that position. And I think that they've understood that and haven't panicked. Barry Taylor, thank you again, Barry. So the reason this channel's the daddy for us Reds is we have someone fronting it that is not scared of being himself and saying what he really feels on all issues. It's refreshing, don't ever change. Thank you so much, mate. If you go back to the early days, Barry, I've only ever promised you one thing on here, and that's I'll be me. I'll be real, warts and all. I'll say stuff you don't agree with, but it'll be how I really feel. So yeah, I appreciate that, mate. I do. Means a lot. Goal for Newcastle, 1-0 up against Blackburn. Anthony Gordon with the goal as well. Fair play. That's they've had a tough season, the Geordies, haven't they? They haven't really kicked on. Champions League campaign was always going to be difficult in the group they were in. But yeah, I mean, would that be enough, do you think? If let's say they got to an FA Cup final or whatever, is that enough to keep Eddie Howe on a job? Because let's be honest, the qualifying for the Champions League again isn't going to happen this season. Best they could probably hope for is a Conference League or Europa League place. Will the FA Cup be enough if they go all the way there? So we did. Do you think 6 points is fair for the Everton points situation? And 69% of you said yes, to 31% saying no. Is Barry Taylor the one from Auf Wiedersehen Pet? Love that show, mate. Loved it. Watched it with my dad all the time when I was growing up. Up the Reds 11 said, sorry I'm late, Craig. What is the Robertson transfer news? It is the Simon Jones of the Mail reported that Andy Robertson is wanted by Bayern Munich as a replacement for Alphonso Davies, who looks fairly likely to be gone to Real Madrid. And they said that he's apparently top of Bayern's list. No numbers mentioned, by the way. And I hope it doesn't get to a number part. I hope the answer is no, he's not available. Inferno Gaming, how are you, my friend? Said, hey Craig, love from Australia. What do you say about getting Grimaldo if Robbo was sold? I get it. I like him, but he's 28. Bundesliga is the Bundesliga, you know. It's still not the Premier League, whichever way we look at it. I mean, I've said this earlier on, and people probably disagreed for a reason I understand, but I said I'd rather move Costas on and bring in somebody like a Grimaldo if you wanted. But I understand the point as well that he's hardly going to want to come in and be second fiddle to Robbo, is he? I just don't want to lose Robbo, in all honesty, mate. I think Robbo still has a couple of years left in him at the top level. Maybe more than that. The Tonali thing killed their season. Do you wonder if Milan had an inkling, let's say, on that Tonali situation? There's been a couple of transfers in the last 5-6 years where players have come to football clubs in England and then stories have all of a sudden come out about issues from the countries they came from in a relatively quick time frame. And it's made me think to myself, it's a bit convenient that, isn't it? Like I don't want to call it insider trading, but it feels a bit weird. Oh yeah, Tonali record move, Newcastle. They're a wet day, kicks the football a few times, all of a sudden investigation, there you are, ban. But Milan's still sitting there with a pot of money. Like, I don't know, it feels unfortunate. Do a poll about Pep doing one before sanctions. Well, his contract situation, Dave, means he's got 1 year to go at Manchester City now. 6-2 now to City. But don't worry, it wasn't Haaland. Kovacic apparently for the 6th goal. So 6-2. It's no 7-2 though, is it? Craig, Tonali did look miserable in his unveiling. Well, whatever we say about whether Milan knew or not, Tonali may have also known. But look, these are big accusations to label at anybody. But yeah, he never looked like he was living out a dream, did he? Coming to Newcastle. He never looked like this was something that he was his proudest achievement of his career yet. When Haaland's scoring all these goals and Darwin's missing chances, doesn't it kind of annoy you? No, not really. I mean, look at it this way. The 5 goals Haaland scored today in the FA Cup still only gets them through one round of the FA Cup. Honestly, I don't think about Haaland when I'm being frustrated at certain Darwin things. I definitely have been frustrated, but I don't think of only Haaland because I wouldn't swap him. I love him. And I think what Darwin brings to our all-round team is more important than just being measured alone in goals and assists, if you get me. Did I miss your reaction to being the 4-4-2s? I knew about it earlier on today, but again, for those of you coming in who are, very kindly alert me to the news. Again, I just want to reiterate, unbelievably lovely surprise today. Over the moon about it. Grateful for the guys at 4-4-2 to put me in it. I mean, really, really grateful. My son loved it as well. So yeah, look, it's been an amazing day in that regard. So thank you. And again, please do go over, watch the video, comment on the video and show the boys some 4-4-2 and some love. I'd pay money to watch Darwin play. Actually, I pay a lot of money to watch his life. He's amazing, isn't he? I can't wait to see, the documentary that they're filming at the minute, about Klopp's last few months at the club. I can't wait to see the behind the scenes stuff because there's going to be some at home with some of the players and stuff like that. So, I mean, the tunnel stuff. I think we're going to figure out a few more nice characters, nice moments that, we don't get to see. So I'm buzzing for this documentary. But obviously we wanted to have the best ending possible. Craig, when are you doing this, the lineup prediction? It's up, Imran. The video went up at I think 6:30, mate. It's up on the channel. I'll happily run through it for you if you haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I went for Kelleher in goal, Bradley at right back, Costas at left back, Kwanzaa and Gomez in the centre back positions. McConnell, Bobby Clark and Alexis McAllister were my guess at a midfield. Up top, I went Cade Gordon, Jayden Dans and Lewis Kumas. But I think Pranav, I think in the chat, said he expects Gakpo to play. And honestly, Gakpo on the left side of attack with Dans in the middle and Cade Gordon on the right, I'd be delighted with as well. But yeah, I expect it to be a very, 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 very youthful, inexperienced team because Endo played 120 minutes. And I don't expect any of those players to really feature. Van Dijk, I don't expect to feature. Kanade, don't expect to feature. Yeah, it's a needs must. And I don't know how Klopp's going to figure this out and manage it, but we'll find out tomorrow. Oh, 1-1. Blackburn have equalised. There you go. Wow. IB X-Edit. Craig, you're a legend, buddy. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Right, friends. I'm going to call that a night, if you don't mind. I know it's a little bit earlier than normal, but I've got loads of stuff to get sorted out before tomorrow's game. So we will be back tomorrow starting from 7 o'clock for the watch along of the game against Southampton. Obviously, we'll have a match reaction, player ratings videos, all the usual stuff. Appreciate all of your support and comments today. Do check out the 4-4 Tunes video if you get a chance. And yeah, look, we'll see you tomorrow. Much love, my friends. Enjoy your evening and 7 o'clock tomorrow.